son of Richard, actually. Dickinson, that's what it's from. Son of Richard. Yeah. I'm 13 years old and I'm currently struggling with school and I don't know what to do when I turn 18. Do you have any advice? And my favourite Iron Maiden song is Hallowed Be Thy Name. When I was 13, I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but my advice would be, if you're 13, you've got ages to go yet, right? Have a go at everything. Because whether or not you realise it or not, your brain right now is a sponge for the next 9 or 10 years. Everything you have a go at, you'll be able to do in 20 years' time and go, I did that when I was a kid, I remember how to do that. Have a go at everything, every possibility you possibly can. Just see if you like it, right? And have a go. And that's it. And just and don't get fucked up on chemicals, right? A bit, but not much. Life's better than that, honestly. What is your favourite Monty Python sketch? Always a difficult one, this one, you know, because there's. My son went for an audition to some sort of like acting school thing, and it was like musical theatre and shit. So he said, "Well, I have to prepare a piece." And I went, oh, I don't know. I mean, maybe you should just do something comedic, you know, like the Philosopher's Song from Monty Python. And he went and shouldn't have listened to his dad because he went and he did it. And they just looked at him in horror and went, oh my God, you're mad, you can't come in here, you know, poor fucker, you know, Dad's fault, honestly. Mind you, I'm glad he didn't, you know, a bunch of wankers anyway, so but what was it, Philosopher's Song, was it? Manuel Kant was a real pistant, it was very rarely stable. Heidegger was a boozy beggar, could think you under the table. David Hume could have consumed Schopenhauer and Hegel, and Wittgenstein's a beery swine who was just as Scotch as Schlegel. There's nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach about the raising of the wrist. Socrates himself was permanently pissed. John Stuart Mill of his own free will and half a bag of bitter was particularly ill. Plato, they say, could stick it away. Half a crate of whiskey every day. Aristotle was the bugger for the bottle. Hobbes was fond of his dram. And Ronnie Descartes was a drunken fart. I drink, therefore I am. Socrates himself is particularly missed. Lovely little thing with a bug on his fist. Right. Yes, so I did use a Monty Python sketch once on an after hours Iron Maiden thing. It's my only experience with prostitution. And I was. You know, I was completely naive, right? I was just gone to Germany with Iron Maiden for the first time. We were on tour, Number the Beast tour, and the road crew were in Hamburg, and the road crew said to me, we're all going out, we're all going to go down the Reeperbahn. I went, what's the Reeperbahn? He goes, oh, you've never been to the Reeperbahn? It's fantastic. You go down there, and there's all these girls, and there's Eros centres. I went, what's an Eros centre? You go down there, it's like an underground parking lot, you know, and there's girls, and it's all legal, and they're all health checked, and they've got medical cards, and you pay your money, and off you go. I went, really? Why on earth would they do that? So down we go, and I'm paired up with this guy called Disney, who is, I thought, I've never done anything like this before. Fuck it, why not? Go on. So I'm there with Dizzy, who's done it a few times before, and he's a lighting guy, and he's like, oh look, we're going to go down here all set up, have a look, see if we can find some girls. So we go in there, and there's lots of ultraviolet light and mirrors, and you go, oh, there's a couple of girls over there, they'll do. And I look, and I say, oh, yeah, they're painted up to look like twins, but they're not. So I said, well, okay, so what do we do now then? He said, well, it is 50 marks for a fuck. I went, what? Both of us? He went, no, each. I went, oh, okay. This is the days before Euros, obviously. So we follow them up the stairs, and they've got this little, you know, suite, boudoir, whatever, with a monster outside the front door. Like that. We go in, sit down, and we've got 140 marks between us, right? So I say, okay, so explain, what's the deal here? She goes, oh, you'll have 20 minutes. Okay, so we've got 20 minutes to have sex. I said, and that's 50 marks each. Yup. Okay, well, I have a question for you. You see, we're young fit chaps. What happens if during the 20 minutes we could sort of have round two? Oh no, this is not possible, this costs extra. I said, no, you don't understand. I said, if you do a really good job, then we won't be able to do round two. But if you're sort of like desultory and it's like not much good, you know, we can have another go. In fact, why don't I'll gamble 140 marks, and you just have to do the same amount of work. But you make an extra 40 marks just for doing the normal amount of work. It's a good deal. We get what we want, like, well, hey, no, and you just don't have to do any more work than you would do normally. No, this costs 200 marks. Do you have a credit card? I said, no, we don't have a credit card. I haven't got those, we're children. And they open a safe, and I'm thinking, oh no, my erection didn't exist in the first place. It's getting even smaller now. You know, credit card machine. You know. So we start, and then Dizzy turns to me and goes, why don't we just fuck them? I went, Dizzy, I'm in the middle of a negotiation here. This is much more interesting. No, listen, you don't understand. He goes, so since the time is up, I mean, what are you talking about? 20 minutes talking or 20 minutes fucking, your time is up? I mean, you never said that at the beginning. You never said this was a either or. I said, this is unfair, we've been ripped off. Nothing has happened, you know, and I'm giving you my money. 140 marks, you've done nothing. Very good, guess what's the bed? So we get on the bed, and they put a little rubber hat on your willy and start giving a little hand job. I'm like, I'm going, oh no, this is so tawdry. And I looked over at Dizzy and I wished I had. So I finally said, look, I'm sorry, I'm just taking this thing off. I'm going to go home and do this on my own because I'm better at it, actually. And I said, that's it, I think we want our money back. I mean, we've just been shortchanged here. I mean, we've had bad service, and, you know, if this was a restaurant, you know, we'd want the meal for free, frankly. You know? We haven't even eaten the meal. You know? Well, this is not possible. So he opens the door, and there's this bloke that came back. Yes, perhaps it's not possible. Yes, okay. So we go outside, we're like, got no money. We don't know where the hotel is. Well, we do, it's 5 miles away, and it's pissing it down with rain, and we're like, we walk to the hotel. And as I'm walking up the Reaper Barn, I notice that there's a police station halfway up there, with a little spire. And, I mean, it's fair to say that we had been drinking. And I walked up and I said, Dizzy, it's legal in Germany. He goes, yeah, it's legal, we should have just fucked them. Just shut up, negativity. I said, I'm going to make a complaint. So I walked into the police station, And there's nobody at the counter, but there's a little bell, you know. What? Ding! Like that. And out comes, you know, Manfred, or whatever his name was, comes out, and he goes, yeah. I went, I thought, how shall I preface this? So I thought, I know, I'll get him. I wish to register a complaint. Parrot sketch. That'll get him straight away. And of course, he never heard of Monty Python. So he just said, yeah, what is the nature of your complaint? I went, right, well, let me see. You see, we were in an Eros Centre. Yeah, you were in an Eros Centre, yeah. And, well, we, how can I put this? We, yeah, what did you get? I'm sorry? What did you get? Fuck, suck, blowjob, what did you get? We got 2 hand jobs. And what did you pay? 140 marks. 140 marks? Show me these girls. Put on his hat. We get the police cruiser. The blue light goes on. We go down the Eros Centre. And he's like, there they are. I thought, oh, I will come in here. Do you wish to come back to Hamburg and go to court to get your money back? I went, maybe not, you know. You can't beat that experience. I've never been tempted ever since. I can't top that experience. Your first introduction to the Mad McBrain. Well, this is a weird one. This is a weird one, yeah, because all right, I'll let you in on a secret. Some of you may know, but you know, everybody thinks, yeah, all right, I was a pilot and everything. But actually, Nicko McBrain was the first pilot in Iron Maiden. Yeah, he was. You see, we did this thing. We were doing an album, and we rented a place to rehearse and write. An island just south of England called Jersey. Not New Jersey, this is a little holiday island just in the middle of the bloody English Channel. So it's nice in the summer, it's miserable in the winter, so we rented an entire hotel, super cheap, put the gear up in the ballroom, we could rehearse there, but of course on weekends there was not much to do. So Nick was off learning to fly, the local flying club, at the airport, Jersey Airport. Adrian was off fishing, and myself and my mate Justin came over from the mainland, and we went off on weekend on a fencing competition, one in Holland, one in Belgium. You know, so it was like fence in the morning and then get drunk in the evening, and fence in the morning, drunk in the evening, try and get laid, fail miserably. And we ended up in Paris with 2 bottles of cheap wine, going, right, we're going to get on this overnight train to a place called Cherbourg. Cherbourg is on the coast, and it's about 10 minutes flying time from Jersey. There's a little twin-engine puddle jumping plane that went and did that trip. So the plan is 8 o'clock that flight departs. At 8:01 we arrived at the airport to see the plane disappearing. The next plane's in 12 hours' time. There is a small cafe, but as soon as the cafe owner realises that we are in fact English, he closes the cafe and drives off at high speed. There's a gendarme asleep in his box, right? And we're just on our own. I went, Justin, mate, I'm so sorry, fuck. Oh, Nicko can fly. He could come and rescue us. Oh, payphone. Shovel some money into a payphone. Go to the hotel, get to the operator, call me Nicko McBrain. Nicko answers the phone. Hello, yeah, what is it, mate, eh? You know? So I said, what, Nick? I said, we're stuck in Jersey. We've missed the flight. Any chance, because you can fly. Any chance you could come and pick us up? Oh, no, see, I've got a problem. She goes, I haven't got my full licence yet, mate. I can't fly on my own. I've got to fly with Charlie. And who's Charlie? Charlie's my flight instructor.
Royal Air Force. Great geezer, lovely geezer. Smashing fella, lovely bloke. Lovely geezer. I mean, yeah, okay, I've got all that. I said, so what you're saying is you could fly maybe with Charlie. Well, maybe you could have a lesson with Charlie on the way to pick us up. And then have another lesson on the way back. And we watch. Oh, I don't know, see. No, I'll have to ask Charlie. Well, ask Charlie. So, half an hour later, phone him back. I said, okay, what's happening? He goes, yeah, mate, yeah, we're coming. We're on our way. We'll be there. I said, well, when? Dunno. Look out the window and see us. So, look out the window. And the sky is grey and miserable. It's windy, blowing a gale. You know, the windsock is like this, you know. and all the birds are sort of like that. And the sea, that's grey and miserable as well. White horses, it's all choppy and blown up by the wind. And I'm looking, and then suddenly I see this speck that gets bigger. And it's bigger. I mean, that's not a bird, it's not a plane. It is a plane. It's Nicko McBrain. And it comes in and it's doing sort of this in the wind, you know. And finally, it's like, and it lands and taxis up and engine stops. And this guy gets out the other side of the plane and starts fiddling around with the engine. And Nick opens the door. There's only two doors, one each side, opens the door and looks at us and goes, fucking hell. And I'm like, well, that's a nice way to greet an old friend. Come on. But, of course, you know, I'm 5'6.5". And my mate Justin is 6'2", big lad. And we've got two bags of fencing equipment. It's like a sort of small golf bag, right? So we're basically 2.5 people. And I'm going up to this aeroplane. I've never been this close to a light aircraft before. I mean, a completely new experience. I'm walking up and I'm thinking, wow, what's this? What is it called? It's a Piper Cherokee. Oh, very good. Okay, ethnic. So I'm having a look and I went, well, that's never been anything like this before, you know. Well, of course, in later life, I've flown lots of Pipers with wings on the, you know, along the bottom like that, and this airplane comes in different size engines: 200 horsepower, 180 horsepower, 160 horsepower, and there was the one that we had, 140 horsepower. But the giveaway is that all of them still only have 4 seats. Why? What's the difference between a 4-seater with 200 horsepower and a 4-seater with 140 horsepower? The answer is 2 hamsters. Because in this aeroplane you could put 2 adults and 2 hamsters, maybe with their bag. But we were rather more than that. Anyway, Nick opens the door and we start to clamber into the plane, and it's very tight, obviously. We're like, oh my God, this is tiny. When we put this bag, we'll shove it over our shoulder and it's sticking between our ears and sticking out the baggage compartment. The other one we had to put on our legs like that. We got it on our knees somehow. And then as we're doing it, all of a sudden the world went a funny shape and the airplane sort of went the nose wheels dangling in the air, the tail is touching the runway. I said, Nick, is this normal? He goes, no, it's not fucking normal. It's definitely not fucking normal. No, Charlie! So Charlie, our RAF instructor, right, he's got a handlebar moustache waxed here. You can hang the knickers off both sides of his face at the same time. And he's like, okay, chaps, okay, don't panic, got a plan. Okay, Nick, right, so when I tell you, everybody lean forward, yeah, a little bit more than that, yeah, rather lots, yeah, okay. He said, I'm going to pick up the tail of the airplane. So now, it's like, right, I'm going to pick up the tail of the airplane, and when I tell you, start the engine. When the engine's running, I'll jump onto the wing, leap into the cockpit, and we'll be off. So, I'm leaning over Nick's shoulder now because I'm fascinated by this. You know, so he's got this piece of paper out. And he's like, "What? Listen, Max, you're released to that. Yeah, oh, fucking hell, right. I said, Nick, what are you doing? He goes, it's a checklist, mate. It's a checklist. I said, it looks surprisingly like it's the instructions to me. I said, no, it's a checklist, mate. You've got to do it. You've got to. He said, don't you know how to start the engine? What have they been teaching you at flight school? I mean, I don't even have a driver's license, but I can start a car engine. How hard can it be? No, mate, you don't understand. It's a checklist. It's dangerous. You've got to do the checklist. If you don't do the checklist, bad things happen. He said, like, you might forget something. I went, oh, madness. Okay, fine. So he goes through the checklist. And then he opens the door. So why have you opened the door? We're about to go flying. Why have you opened the door? He goes, well, I've got to shout, so make sure that nobody is standing close to the aeroplane when I start the engine, in case they run into the propeller. I said, there's nobody standing within 50 fucking miles of the aeroplane, apart from Charlie, who's holding the tail up from striking the runway. What's the fucking checklist? You've got to do the checklist. Hold on a minute, right, I'm going to shout. I'm going to shout now. Who to? There's nobody there. I've got to do it. Clear prop! I went, well, that's Harvey the fucking invisible white rabbit has fucked up. So anyway, he hits the tip and engine bursts into life, cockpit filled with the overwhelming smell of gasoline. And sure enough, Charlie, good as his word, goes, okay, chaps, back with the wing, into the cockpit. Oh man, off we go, like quick 90-degree turn, door's still open, you know, hasn't even got his seatbelt on. Long! Now, and we start to go down the runway. Of course, the runway at Cherbourg is long, very long. Did I say it was long? It's really fucking long, right? And the reason is because it was built by the Germans during the war for their coastal command aircraft. So it's very long, and we use every inch of it. So we're sort of accelerating. No, that's too strong a word. We're trundling forward purposefully down the runway, and Charlie's sort of going, oh, right, okay, everybody lean forward, yeah, as much as you can, yeah. Nick, yes, with that nose of yours, I think you can lean a little bit forward than anybody else. And we sort of get to the end of the runway, and we fell off. But luckily, before we struck the surface of the sea, the aeroplane began to commence flight, courtesy of the curvature of the Earth. And I'm looking over Nick's shoulder, and I can see Charlie is now, his pallor has changed from sort of like tan to looking, you know, RAF Sky God to slate grey with projectile sweat coming out of all his pores. He's like, okay, everybody lean forward, everybody keep leaning forward, you know, whatever you do, don't lean back, you know. And I'm enjoying this. I'm like, wow, I get this. Hey, what's that? That's the speedometer. Got that? Yeah. It's not very fast, is it? Okay. What is that? That's how high we are. That's the altimeter. Not very high at all, no. Nick, what's that instrument there? That's the vertical speed indicator. There's no vertical speed whatsoever. Yeah, well, it's a bit of a funny instrument, the vertical speed indicator. There's a lot of lag. A lot of lag in the VSI. Not like about a week, you know. So anyway, and then it moved, right? I mean, it moved, amazing. And we are slowly climbing away from the ocean, which is great, because I can see the cliff, on top of which is the airport we're going for. And it's rather higher than we were at the time. So for the next 10 minutes, it's a game of chicken between front of the aeroplane, cliff face. Front of the aeroplane, cliff face, right?
I mean, you can just imagine, you know, air traffic control in Jersey, you know, it's like, oh no, it's Golf A, B, C, D, E, F, G, requesting permission to land. It's like, okay, yeah, you're clear to land. Where the fuck are you exactly? You know? All of a sudden, Kilroy, boom, like that, over, land on the runway, taxis off, and we taxi off to, like, behind some buildings, behind some industrial rubbish bins. Engine stops, Charlie gets out, you know, because the thing was, nobody wanted the tower to see how many people got out of this aeroplane. Because Charlie's license would be a crisp packet or a cornflake packet in a heartbeat. So he's gone, and Nick is walking around going, fuck me, I never want to fucking do that again, fucking hell. And he disappears. But I'm stood there, and I'm in this like dream state. Wow, flight. You know what? If a drummer can fly. This is from Cletus. Cletus is in court tomorrow. Sing me a few bars before I'm behind bars. And as if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared. Will you sing a bit of quite an obscure solo song of Eternal? So I don't know if anybody knows that tune. I don't. But I'll attempt to remember a little verse of it now. The song is actually about how we've forgotten the astronauts who were the pioneers, and how we fail to remember these amazing individuals who now have nearly all passed away. And we just choose to forget them, you know, and it's all about Falcon, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, and all the rest of it. But these people were amazing. So Eternal was about them. And what's the chorus go? It's try and get the right key, otherwise my balls will fall off when I do the chorus. At the edge of space, the world is curved like a halo. See a blackbird flying now, see it now from my window. And now the rocket man came down to land from the unknown. On the ground they never found the truth, turned their eyes to the skies. We were eternal back in those days, but now we're our memories, they hide us away. But we were the only ones, never forget those fallen heroes, never again. I'll see you later. Thank you very much.